Hey guys, Fallen here. I've been really enjoying Odin rushes in the past week, since the games are really fast. Today, we will look into how I've been approaching water maps with them. Our game plan stays the same as normal Odin rush. We go up fast and deny resources. Especially burning out opponent's wood line early here is very strong because on water maps, players usually have a lot more villagers on wood. We will also use our fast uptime to kill opponent's fish, denying them extra food resource. We also need to have our temple very aggressively near the opponent's base so that we can get the Valkyrie out very quickly and we can raid their resource collection even faster. Next, we will make 1 or 2 longhouses for making throwing axemen or herdmen depending on what your opponent is making and try to counter that. You have your temple again aggressively, so you can also make some Herseers if they are going myth units. And all this pressure that you have, you want to follow up with a fast heroic with Njord, and then use walking woods and the mountain giant that you get to eliminate buildings and go for the kill. Alright, so let's get into the game and see how this rush is done. Okay, so we start with queuing gatherers and then sending the first 3 villagers to hunt. Bring them close to your town center and then use the god power to de-aggro them and then just kill only one of them. Then the first few villagers are going to go on the wood line. Make sure that your berserk is going towards the shore because we'll be making a dock and then making at least 5 fishing ships. Again, you can auto queue the fishing ships, but you will have to make sure that they are tasked to separate fish, because in Age of Mythology you can only put 1 fishing ship on 1 school of fish. You're also going to be using your goats, sheep, any kind of herdables that you have. You'll use it to scout around the other side of the map. Don't forget to queue a fishing ship as soon as your dock is ready. Also, you will be making a house with your berserk in a little bit when you have enough wood. Now we want to make our temple very aggressively forward, maybe near the settlement, and so we want to send our berserk very close to our opponent's base and scout around there. Next, we'll be making a dwarf and then a gatherer because we only have enough resources for 1 dwarf, and we'll send them both to gold. That is usually enough to get your temple. And yes, I know some of you might be saying we should only put dwarfs on gold, but the collection rate for gold on gatherers is not that bad, so I prefer to use them interchangeably, especially on a map where I have extra fishing ships on food. All the next few villagers are going to go on hunt or whatever food resource you have. Also, your berserk should now be very close to opponent's base, so make sure you stop queuing for fishing ships after 5 of them, and then we'll save up to make a temple. Okay, so waiting for the final bit of gold, and I see a settlement, so I'm just trying to make a temple right there. Again, we want to deny any kind of extra safety measures that your opponent can go for, which is extra town center, and then just try to survive your pressure until they can make their army. We don't want that. Now at this point we can already start thinking of how we are going to redistribute resources. Once you have spare gold, you can make more dwarfs. When you have spare wood, you can make a few more fishing ships, if that is even a possibility. And as soon as you have 400 food, just click up with Freya. In a normal build, players usually click up around 4-minute mark to go to classical age, and we have about a 30-second advantage. And in that advantage, we want to make a few long ships and kill enemy fish. Alright, so how do we follow this up? We want to redistribute our gatherers. We will be sending some to gold and some to wood, because again, we'll be needing a lot of buildings, we'll be making ships. You can add at this point 1 or 2 fishing ships, but it's personal preference, I guess, because we'll be short on wood for doing other things. You get 2 free ravens with Odin, and make sure you scout enemy dock and enemy wood line with them if possible. Make a hairsayer and pick up if there are any good relics around. And then again, we make more military buildings. Okay, so now our economy is somewhat stable. We want to now look into making army. So let's make our longhouse. We'll make herdmen only if they have cavalry, but otherwise I would recommend just spamming throwing axemen. Here I also got a bit lucky because the villagers were going to hunt, and that will be the name of the game for a few more minutes, where we are just trying to deny as much resources as possible. Okay, so military buildings are going up now. Again, we try to optimize how we are engaging versus our opponent. If it's a myth unit, you want to use your heroes. If it's general units, human units, you want to make counters if possible. And yeah, as you saw, I went to the safe wood line that they have and burnt it down. Again, making sure that they are always reacting and they don't get a chance to recover. I mean, this was just against Titan AI, but of course things will be a lot more difficult. Make sure that you keep on producing your villagers and army constantly and you don't fall behind. And as soon as we have enough to click up, we will. Okay, so hopefully you have a little bit of advantage here against your opponent, who might have been trying to be greedy and go with booming. And now we'll make a smithy and we'll click up with Njord. Okay, so we've clicked up now. Make sure that you're constantly trying to balance resources that you're collecting whenever you get a few minutes free from fighting. Also make sure that you are checking on the other side of your opponent's base if they are trying to expand and if any villagers are exposed, because the only way you lose after this point is if they have more resources being collected. Again, we have never stopped our villager production, so villager count should be very equal. Whenever your opponent uses defensive abilities like Gulen Bursty, which is very strong, you cannot really fight that. You have a small army and you just want to save it once you hit your next stage, and you want to use that advantage to push through all the buildings. So what we'll do now is we'll just move away. Same if they use ancestors or snakes, just avoid engaging when those happens. And yeah, now we have our walking woods, which are very good against buildings, so we are just going to push through. Also, if you have resources spare, make sure that you get all the smithy upgrades before engaging, but it's not necessary. The mountain giant plus the trees are very good at destroying all the buildings. Well, that's all for this one though. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you would like more content like this, and see you on next one.